Imagine a verdant paradise that stands as a convergence of worlds, a living temple of native wilderness, a place where the full potential of inherent human and earth magic can be seen, felt, and understood. A space that attracts the brightest and best of educators on the leading edge. A place of permaculture designed for the benefit of future generations.
Operate out of your dreams and your vision and not other people's expectation. Having breast cancer wasn't my choice, but the decision to live healthy so that I could stand before you here today, that's choice. You can choose this very moment to change your life from every perspective.
Tracy Randolph was our speaker. She came back because so many people liked her first presentation. I was one of those people that joined her fitness group, and it made me a better leader.
I grew up in a community, but they had limiting beliefs on what a little black girl could do. Everything that you do in this life is a choice. I choose to live healthy. I choose to change my mindset. I choose to be everything that I dreamed of because I choose faith and I choose me. Live healthy, be everything that you can be today. Choose yourself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. I'm super excited about today because, as always, I have an absolutely amazing guest waiting backstage. I'm really just in awe of the wonderful people that I have the privilege to meet, and my guest today is no exception, but I'm not going to give her away just yet. So I wanted to talk to everybody out there first about the holidays. The holidays are coming up. So here in the United States, we have Thanksgiving that is coming up in November. And then in December, we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa. So there's so many holidays coming up. Diwali actually just happened and people were out celebrating. But what I know about the holidays, in most cultures, it is wrapped around food, everybody, because most cultures love to celebrate with the people that they love, and it is usually around food, amazing food, oftentimes traditional for people, food that people grew up with, that has been a part of their culture. So we know that even in most cultures also, people don't think about the healthier options when it comes to food, because a lot of us cook with a lot of things that are sweet and savory because it feels good, right? It's cozy to be with family and have some great food around the table and just enjoy one another. Well, there is a way for you to enjoy your family, still have your food around the table, but maybe you swap out some ingredients to your traditional dishes. Don't get mad at me, moms out there and grandmas out there who love cooking those traditional dishes. I'm telling you, there are options that you can use that are going to allow you to incorporate a little healthier food. So I want to give those to you and some other tips on how you can enjoy a healthy holiday with your family. So we're going to start off with the food because that is a big part of, what we do on the holidays. So I want you to consider in the morning, because my motto is don't skip a meal. Okay, don't skip meals. It's not good for you. Okay, ladies out there, and I'm talking to the ladies here, because a lot of times we women think that if we don't eat, we're going to lose weight. We're going to magically lose weight if we don't eat. Well, it has the opposite effect on your body. So I want you to make sure that when you're waking up on the holiday morning, that you are still eating breakfast. Yes. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to jumpstart your digestive system and boost your metabolism early in the morning, as early as possible. Or if you're on an intermittent fasting schedule, you can do it at 12, but you want to make sure that you start with a meal. So choose a healthy breakfast: oatmeal, fruit, maybe egg whites, some Ezekiel toast, but don't skip your meal. Do the same thing for lunch. Have a healthy lunch, salad loaded up with different color fruit and vegetables. You're going to make sure that you get those nutrient dense ingredients in you and food in you to help jumpstart your day. And I tell you, on the holidays, you're going to want to boost your metabolism early, and you're going to want to engage your digestive system early, so that when you get to the dinner that is a little more sweet and savory, that you can digest it a little bit better. So I want to make sure you eat those meals, breakfast and lunch, before that wonderful dinner. And then when it comes to dinner, so with this, if you are cooking with sugar, right, you can use healthier options. There is coconut sugars out there. There's beet sugar out there. There's stevia out there. And I know that's very popular these days, but you can change the sugar, okay? And I would say, if you had to go for sugar, you wanted that real sweetness, and you're used to regular refined sugar, then use a pure cane sugar, one that is not processed and refined. It will be better for you even than the refined sugar. So do that with your sugar. I want you to make sure when you're using oils that it's not vegetable or canola. You can use olive oil, a great olive oil, a grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil, by the way, is great for high temperatures. So if you need to fry something, you can use grapeseed oil and not feel guilty about what you're putting in your body. Or you can use things like avocado oils, or there are some great nut oils out there as well. Just make sure, you guys know how I do on this show, you want to read the ingredients. Even if you think that it's a healthy option, you want to make sure that you're reading the ingredients on the label to make sure that it is purely those ingredients, and that it doesn't have a lot of chemically enhanced ingredients in it. Okay, so make sure that you do that as well. But watch your oils, and you can eat smaller portions throughout the day that will help you digest as well. That will help you to prepare for that larger meal. And I would even say the larger meal you can break down into smaller portions as well. So you want to do that. The other thing that I wanted to mention about food as well is when using milks, maybe try nut milks or some other oat milk, something else besides dairy. All right. You don't want to cause any inflammation in the body. You want to reduce inflammation as much as possible. So change your milks out as well. You can try, as I mentioned earlier, doing an intermittent schedule where you are starting your meals maybe around the 11 or 12 o'clock hour, and then you're ending around 6 or 7 o'clock. You can do that as well. And that helps to also boost your metabolism. Make sure that you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, and use those in your meals. So if a meal calls for, especially those great desserts, right? It usually calls for fruit. Well, throw away the can, use some really fresh, good fruit, go to your farmer's market or a great store where it has great produce, but use some fresh vegetables and fruits. I want you to make sure that you also stay hydrated throughout the day. That is also going to help you flush your body. So these are tips for you to stay healthy during this holiday. And when you want to incorporate some exercise, engage the family. Get those kids away from the television and the video games. Engage them. Get outside, play a football game, a basketball game, kickball, go ice skating, roller skating, or simply take walks. But do something that's going to engage the whole family in the activity so that everybody can enjoy it, have fun, and get some exercise in as well, some fun exercise. And the last thing that I want to tell you is lose any guilt around enjoying the holidays. Okay, don't stress out. I'm the reset coach. Every day is an opportunity for you to reset. So indulge a little bit enjoy the family, and start the next day, reset the next day, lose the guilt, and enjoy your holidays. So that is it for my holiday tips for you today. As the holidays approach, everybody, make sure that you just have fun, that you enjoy your family, and that you just incorporate some things that are just going to help you live a little bit healthier. We have the beautiful Shima Stroud out there, my bestie, who will actually be here tomorrow. Woo woo. Gonna have some bestie fun this weekend. So I absolutely love her. Thank you for joining the show, Shima She, who is also a part of Fem Talk. She's one of the co-hosts on Fem Talk, and we have a great time on that show as well. But everybody, listen. I have this beautiful guest. Not only is she beautiful on the outside, she's also absolutely beautiful on the inside. She's amazing. I actually met her through some connections through ATBA. So ATBA is a nonprofit organization that is focused on helping the masses. And you will hear more about ATBA even on this show as the High Vibe Conference approaches in April. And I know that this beautiful young woman is going to be a speaker at High Vibe. So we're going to give her a whoop whoop on that. Can't wait to hear her speak. But I had the opportunity of speaking with her via Zoom. She's just absolutely an amazing person, beautiful soul. And I am going to introduce her, give you her wonderful bio, but I don't even know if this does her justice because, she just has a heart of gold. Her name is Leah Abraham, everybody. She is a childhood trauma expert. She is passionate about helping adults. Now, listen to this. Adults begin connecting to and healing their childhood traumas, right? So some people may be thinking out there, do I really suffer from childhood trauma? Well, you would probably be amazed. I was actually looking at something that her and I are going to discuss when she comes on, but she also helps her clients see their addictions with new perspective. Leah is the creator of the 5-Step Healing Process, a program designed to help you understand alignment, release denial around trauma, see yourself and your situation clearly, and know what your next best steps will be. I absolutely love this. Her mission is to provide a framework and a guideline that helps remove some of the fear and resistance around healing. And you would be amazed how many people are still, challenged by their childhood trauma. You are strong enough, she says, to heal, and you deserve to heal. Leah can help guide you as you begin your journey. She values kindness and practices love over fear, empowering others to come home to themselves and embrace their own inner healer. Amen to that. So she also is on Clubhouse, everybody, every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where she speaks about childhood trauma specific to sexual abuse trauma and she's also on Instagram, where you can find her as well, speaking about childhood trauma. So her motto is healing happens in the space where pain and self-love come together. I absolutely love that. So I want you guys to help me give a round of applause for Leah. We're going to do a quick commercial, and Leah will be up right after this commercial break, everybody. Here we go.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? Seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
All right, everybody, you see that website scrolling at the bottom. That is for LaurenMichaelsHarris.com. So engage with him if you are looking to ignite your passion and purpose. All right. So without further ado, woo, we are bringing in Leah Abraham, everybody. Woo! Hello, beautiful.
Good morning, Tracy. I'm so happy to be here. And what a beautiful introduction you gave me. That was so
Oh,
kind.
oh, awesome, awesome. I think you are beautiful, Leah.
Thank
And I
you.
love that color on you, by the way.
Mm,
Absolutely beautiful.
it's my favorite.
Yay.
Thank you.
And we are in Breast Health Awareness Month. I don't say Breast Cancer Awareness Month because we want to make sure that you stay healthy and proactive during your whole lifetime so that you are not subjected to breast cancer. So I say Breast Health Month, but that you're beautiful in pink, and pink is the color for breast health awareness month. So we're changing that.
There we go.
Absolutely. So I'm going to dive right into this. So I'm going to ask you, what made you choose, becoming a childhood trauma expert?
Okay. So it all had to do with my own healing journey,
Mhm.
Tracy. I think when I came to a certain point in my own healing journey and I realized, okay, I have something that could possibly help others so that they don't have to struggle the way that I did for the long period of time that I did and alone. A lot of times when people uncover their traumas or things begin to come up for you in your adult life, you just feel so isolated and so alone. And so I came to this point in my own healing journey where I thought, I want to give back. And it's not like I had that terminology that I want to give back. I just knew I had something with my alignment image, which I use in my 5-step healing program, that was very helpful to people, that could help them really have a visual to see what it's like when we're out of alignment, when we're in our addictions,
Mhm.
and what we can do to bring ourselves back into that alignment, back to that connection to self.
Yeah.
So that's really how I got into it, was my own journey, and then knowing that there are so many people that go through similar things that I've gone through, and we need healing on this planet right now.
Absolutely. So you mentioned
Mhm.
something so key. Talk about that alignment image and
Mhm.
how you identify that.
Sure. So our alignment consists of 3 parts: the
Mhm.
mind, the body, and the spirit.
Mhm.
And so the way I came about my alignment image is I was in the 12-step program for addiction,
Mhm.
and I was having trouble on the first step, which is admitting that
Mhm.
we are powerless over our addiction.
Mhm.
So I was racking my brain around, I don't want to say that I'm powerless over something, because I was very much into being in control of
Mhm.
everything that I could possibly control.
Mhm.
And so then this image came to me in these 3 parts: the mind, the body, the spirit.
Mhm.
And so I drew it out. And what I understood from that image is that we have this physical body, that's made up of the brain, the heart, the gut,
Mhm.
this physical body that's always present where we are.
Mhm.
And then we have something that gives life to our body, right? And so we all have some type of connection to
Mhm.
a concept of a higher power.
Mhm.
So I say that that higher power is what breathes life into our body. So
Yeah.
what is it that's beating our heart and breathing our lungs?
Mhm.
That's our higher power. That's spirit. So
Mhm.
if you're alive, then you know that spirit is giving life to your body. So spirit is also there with you.
Yeah.
So then we have the third part, which is the mind. So if the body's always physically present, we know spirit's with us, we're breathing life into our body, then
Mhm.
it's the mind that really causes the issue, the mind that can move away from our present moment,
Yeah.
that can dwell on the past, that can be anxious about the future, that can totally be somewhere else in addiction
Mhm.
when we're speaking to someone else that's present with us.
Mhm.
So understanding those 3 parts and understanding how, when the mind moves away from our present moment, when our mind's focused attention isn't where we are,
Mhm.
then we are powerless. Because
Mm.
if you think of it, when I draw the image, it's like it's 3 parts. It's our body here, It's the spirit that comes through us, and then it's the mind that, that lives here in this spiritual space.
Mm-hmm.
But when the mind moves away from our present moment, we're disconnected from that higher power.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that really helped me understand how I could be powerless to something.
Yeah.
And so I use that image in my 5-step healing process as the foundational key
Yeah.
to the next steps.
And you help people identify what that image is for them.
Exactly.
I love that.
Because it's different for all of us.
Yeah.
What alignment feels like for me, and the things that bring me into alignment are going to be completely different from what alignment feels like for you,
Yeah.
and what brings you into your alignment.
Yeah.
So it's very
Absolutely.
unique to each
Yeah.
individual.
Absolutely. I love that. So I have something else, but I wanted to just say good morning to Brandy, the disconnector out there. Thank you, Brandy, for joining the show. Another co-host on Fem Talk. These beautiful Fem Talk ladies are joining us here this morning, so I'm grateful for that. But I wanted to ask you too about, because when once we become adults, right? We're so goal oriented and we get mixed up in the race. I won't call it the rat race, right? But that's what people usually call it here in the United States. But we get mixed up in this race of, doing, and doing more and doing more. And we're always looking at, the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. But something so key that you said about the present moment. And as I am learning and studying, and continuing to develop myself, and I'm listening to, those experts out there who have studied like neurology and spirit, right, and theology, the present moment is that key moment, that important moment. So I love that you mentioned that, but talk a little bit more even about connecting that, because as adults, it's so hard because you're always thinking about the next thing that you have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tracy, it's key. Keeping our mind's focused attention in the present moment is key to awareness, is key to seeing our situation clearly. And we get conditioned away from our present moment early on, because I work in childhood trauma. So we learn very early on to go outside of ourselves and seek safety and comfort.
Yeah.
We learn that so early on. And if we don't have the guidance of someone telling us, no, actually, all of the answers are within you, everything you need, you're going to find in your alignment. If we don't have that instruction or that demonstration from someone, from an adult in our life, then we live outside of our alignment most of our lives. And so as we grow into adulthood and we're living out of alignment, thinking that I'm going to find what I need outside of me, that becomes like almost our I don't want to say our natural state, because our natural state is one of alignment, but it becomes our conditioned state to live always somewhere else rather than where we are right now. So that practice of bringing our mind's focused attention into our present moment as adults is so key and so powerful. And the easiest ways, there are lots of ways to do that, but the easiest ways that I like to share is using your senses. What is it that you see, you hear, you touch? I'm sure you've heard people say that before, because our body, our physical body, is always where we are, and it's always receiving information into it. So when we're present to the information that we're receiving in, we know that our attention is in the present moment.
And why would you think, because I always use this example too. I remember when my son was little, he's a teenager now. So, he's getting into that adult way of thinking a little bit, right? The way of the world, right? But when he was little, I could remember like wanting to rush him out the door and try to rush to work, right? But he would always stop. He was always looking at everything around him, from the smallest little thing on the ground. He was very curious. Even just, I had to go to the side of my house to get to the driveway. So my door was on the opposite side of the driveway, which was different, right? But it was nice for him because he had to take a little journey across the yard, but he would stop and look at everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go. But then I stopped and I learned to appreciate what he was doing, because I missed all of those things
Mhm.
for so long until he was born. So why do you think it is that, we lose that? Because we have that as children. We
Mhm.
are very present in the moment as children. And then what
Yes.
happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, exactly that. That's a perfect example, Tracy, because we are born into alignment,
Yeah.
and children are so close to their alignment because they're curious about what's happening right in front of them.
Yeah.
Everything, like you said, every little thing would catch his attention
Yeah.
because he's there
Yeah.
watching it. So what happens is the parent that says, "We gotta go.
Yeah.
Stop looking at that. Get in the car. We gotta go."
Yeah.
And so, the child begins to think outside of themselves, and move away from all the amazing things that are happening in the present moment. We think, "Oh, I have to hurry because I have to go there.
Yeah.
We have to get there."
Yeah.
And there's many things that condition us. It's not just the parents. That's obviously the biggest influence, but
Right.
there's outside influence. There's your teachers at school, there's the
Mhm.
media. There's so much that
Mhm.
a child is being exposed to, that if they don't have that guidance of stay present, it's easy to learn the ways of this world, which
Yeah,
are
exactly.
to move outside of your alignment. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is how it
Oh,
happens.
yeah. So I want to say hey to Miss Celine, Monique, everybody.
Hello.
She will actually be here next week. So make sure that you tune in next week as well. But I'm loving this conversation on childhood trauma. So I want to ask you also, I was looking at something online just, to kind of get some information actually, and my phone doesn't want to open for me here, but let me just do this. Okay, here we go. So I was looking at some things online, and I just wanted to talk to you because they have tests out there which I'm actually going to take after this. I want to take it just to see, kind of where I am on the Richter scale here with this. But it talks about, trying to identify what you feel most, and it says, guilt, abandonment, mistrust, and then it
Mm.
says other. So I just wanted to kind of get your take on that. Like, how do you take somebody through, um, I don't want to say a test, right, as a coach, but just through an exploration of
Yeah.
figuring out, if they're suffering, because a lot of people just don't really recognize, right, unless something big happens, or you know what I mean. So how do
Mhm.
you take them through just a journey of recognizing like what's happening to them?
Yeah, that's a really good question,
Yeah.
Tracy, and you're so right. We build walls of denial around the
Mhm.
things that have happened to us, and
Yeah.
and we live there behind those walls of denial, and it's very difficult for many people to break that denial down, and
Mhm.
and 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 rightfully so, because when we're children, our body works with us. It's
Mhm.
always working for us. And so if we are exposed to a difficult situation, a situation that we don't yet have the emotional intelligence to fully process,
Yeah.
then our brain will literally shut down parts of itself.
Mm.
And they stay, turned off.
Yeah.
If you think about, when you look at those things you find online, when the brain is lit up, it's like everything's lit up.
Mhm.
So it literally goes dark in certain areas.
Mhm.
And so and then we learn to look outside of ourselves. We have denial,
Yeah.
all of these things. So then when we finally come to a place in our adult life
Mhm.
where we've developed our emotional intelligence to be able to process the things that we've been through,
Mhm.
and when we've created a safe enough space
Yeah.
for our subconscious to begin connecting us to that,
Mhm.
we can have a lot of resistance to that, because that means reactivating those parts of our brain that have
Yeah.
been turned off for so long.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of resistance to it, but there's just a lot of, I don't even know,
Mhm.
it's been suppressed for so long that now you want me to connect to it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: there comes a point in time where your body will want you to make that connection. And
Yeah.
like I said, it usually comes when you've created a safe enough environment for yourself as an adult
Mm-hmm.
to allow the subconscious to access what's stored in the body and begin processing it.
Yeah.
And so, to help people sort of identify that is we look at the patterns that have grown from the roots of those original experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So in our adult life, I mean, Tracy, the body will tell you when
Mm-hmm.
something is going on. You have been through that, and
Yeah.
that's the case for a lot of people. That it gets to the point where your body is finally like, we have to do something, and there's a physical ailment or a disease that happens that demands your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way to come into it. Other people just begin exploring and like you said, listening to different podcasts and reading different books, or maybe they start going to therapy and things begin to get uncovered,
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many layers.
Yeah.
So it's really just about being ready to go down that path of healing and allow what's meant to come up for processing into your present moment, and instead of running away from it. And that's where addiction comes into play,
Right.
where the pain of what's coming up in our present moment is too much for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we move away into an addiction to either numb the pain, to escape it, to forget about it for a while. But it's always going to come back. It's always going to come back because it lives in the body.
Yeah.
And so until we process it out of the body, we're going to have to face it at some point, or we're going to live in that space of denial, which is very uncomfortable as well. So, I think I answered your question.
You did. You definitely did. And I'm thinking of so many things, because I'm thinking about, so I'll take my own situation, right? Because the best, the best, way to heal is just learning your own experiences. But I had to get hit over the head, right? Like with
many of us do.
Yeah. And the point of this, everybody, right? And I want you to make sure that you are listening to Leah and even engage with her if you feel like there's something that you need help with. And you may not know exactly what's wrong, but you want to reach out to her. Because I can remember just finding out that I had breast cancer, right? I wasn't doing this I was doing career development. I wasn't doing self-development. And the breast cancer is what made me just do self-development and have to explore. And I joined a program called Transform Her, which changed my life completely, right, through Women Empowered International. But I had to explore past, present, and future through this program. And I won't give the program away, because people, you should join it if you want to, really do that exploration. But I had to go through these different steps now and identify things that I had, like you said, I left in the dark. It was like locked away in chambers of my heart and my brain, and I didn't really pull those things out and be able to talk about them until I had gone through that self-development. So just wanted to know, like, when people come to you because they may feel that something's wrong. And before I got breast cancer, I felt like something was wrong. I felt like I was on this wheel, and I kept saying, I need a break. And I got my break, right? But, we're here because we don't want you all out there to get to the point where we were. You heard Leah say earlier, it was from her own traumas that she needed to heal. And thank God she identified that. And now she is the coach and expert that she is today. But we don't want you to have to get there if you don't need to. So I would say, like, how do you, because a person may come to you and say, I don't really know what's wrong, right? But I know something is wrong. How do you have them go down this path of exploration, even to try to figure that out?
Yeah, that's what my 5-step healing process is, Tracy. It is that exploration of getting to know yourself, coming back home to yourself, and really recognizing the things that spark joy for you. I use that term. It's Marie Kondo's term, but
I love that term.
Yes, but those things that really spark joy for you, because that's when you get to know yourself. So that alignment piece that I talked about, the mind, the body, and the spirit, that's a big key piece of it, is when you are actually in your present moment, when
Mhm.
you're in your body,
Mhm.
what does that feel like for
Yeah.
you? Because a lot of times, and I work with people who have gone through sexual abuse,
Mhm.
so a lot of times we're not in our body, like
Mhm.
we're just not there.
Yeah.
And so a big piece of it is like coming back into your body. And I think that's why so many people have these physical ailments,
Yeah.
because like I mentioned before, the body is for you. It's always working on your behalf. So
Mhm.
even, the breast cancer, that, and I know, see that
Mhm.
this way now, that
Mhm.
it was for you.
Yeah.
It was so that it could awaken you to the
Yeah.
deeper work that had to be done.
Yeah.
So the body is always for us.
Mhm.
And when we can come back into it and begin really, like, I just had Thanksgiving dinner with my parents, and now I'm having this feeling in my stomach that
Mhm.
just doesn't feel right, or I have this pain in my shoulder, or
Mhm.
so it's connecting those things, because like I mentioned before, those traumas, those unprocessed experiences are stored in the body.
Yeah.
And so we will feel them. Our body will show them to us
Yeah.
if we're present in the body. So
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest ways, is trying to be in your body. And
Mhm.
and not everybody can do that. I mean, I've been on my healing journey for over 10 years, and
Mhm.
that's where I'm currently at, is doing
And
the somatic work.
And I would say, because I love that you were transparent enough to say that, even as the expert, right? But
Mhm.
because it's a lifetime journey.
Mhm.
It's the same as me being, the reset coach and, working on the physical part of health. That's a journey for me every day. Like
Mhm.
I'm on that path every day. I'm not perfect. I don't do it all perfect every day. So that's something that I focus on daily. And I will
Yes.
do that for the rest of my life because we're human beings. We're
Yep.
subject to challenges, and life happens around us, right? So we make those missteps. Not I won't even say mistakes, but missteps, right?
Mhm.
And it's okay, everybody out there. It's perfectly fine. Just reset.
Just
Right?
reset.
And
Yes. Every
exactly.
moment is a time to reset.
Yeah.
And I love that you say that, Tracy, because every moment is an opportunity to be present,
Yeah.
to be in your body.
Yeah.
And so you're exactly right. No matter how far we move from our alignment,
Yeah.
every moment is an opportunity to come back to the present
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's
you just got me thinking about something too. Take us through something that you would do with somebody to bring them back, right? Because
Mhm.
especially our minds, right? They wander the most,
Yes, they
right?
do.
So take us through, just one thing that you would do to help somebody come back into self.
Hmm. So at the start of every session, I
Mm.
always do like a little meditation, and
Mhm.
and I want to explain why meditation is so important, because
Mhm.
we hear all of the time, breathe work, meditation, like we get it, but
Mhm.
why?
Yeah.
So if you think about meditation, what it does is it puts your body in a position where you're not distracted,
Mhm.
hopefully, and
Mhm.
then it connects you to your breath.
Mhm.
And what's important about the breath is that we can only take a breath in
Mhm.
this present moment. We
Yeah.
can't, schedule in a big breath for tomorrow and like
Right.
have that sustain our body. We can't like think about that deep breath that we took yesterday and
Yeah.
have it sustain our body. We're always breathing what we need into the body in the present moment.
Mhm.
So that's why breath work, you hear it all the time,
Yeah.
is such a key piece to
Yeah.
bringing our focus into the present moment,
And
because
I
we
just
can
want to
only. Mhm, yeah,
Yeah,
go
I
for it.
just wanted to interrupt for 1 second because
Mhm.
what most people don't realize is we're not taking deep breaths on a regular basis, right? So I
No, we're
love that.
not.
So keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point, Tracy, is
Yeah.
that we think about this breath that we're constantly taking without thinking about it. It's what
Yeah.
sustains our body. But you're exactly right. Once we actually connect to the breath and we're
Mhm.
we're there watching the breath, we
Mhm.
recognize like how shallow our breathing is, or like
Yeah.
how like sporadic it is, or there it's very rare that people are taking in the breath that they
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Um so when you are focused on just breathing in the
Mhm.
present moment,
Mhm.
receiving that breath into your body for for its processing and so that you can continue your day.
Yeah.
That helps us to come into the present moment. So when we breathe, when we close our eyes, when we focus on where we are, we use those five senses. Like I said, like feel the softness of where you're sitting. If you have a fan on, feel the air of the fan on you.
Yeah.
And so it's again that being in your body, being where you are.
Yeah.
So if someone is, I like to say if they're in the chaos of the trauma, of the drama of their trauma, the best way to bring it back is to do that, to breathe, to be where you are, and then to look around you and see that I am safe in this place. Because a lot of times, many of us are in that survival state where the sympathetic nervous system is activated. So we're always like watching out for the next threat. So if we can calm ourselves down and then take the time to look at our surroundings and say, I'm in the safety of my home. Like this is where I'm at, my safe place, or wherever you are, my work environment, this is my safe space. There's nothing that's going to harm me. So I can be present here and not worried about a threat. And so that's the easiest way to bring us back to that state of calm is really just being present, bringing the mind's focused attention back. And we could do that with breath. We can do that with the meditation, with using our five senses, with journaling. I smile about journaling because that's something that people always talk about as well. And I've been so resistant to it. But I understand the reason why it's important is because what journaling allows us to do is take what's going on in our mind and bring it out into the present moment. And when you're writing, the physical act of writing allows you to be in the present moment, because you can't be trying to write an idea that you have and be thinking about, oh, I gotta do this PTA thing at the kids' school tomorrow. Like to write down what you have to write down, you have to be there. So that journaling is very important too.
I have a little bit of a funny story. When I was going through the breast cancer, and the hospital offered meditation. Now I had never, of course I knew what it was, but I had never done it before because I just thought I was fine, but I was moving along. And I get in there and I lay on the table, and I have to tell you, I just started laughing because the woman's voice, it was just so, she was like, free your mind. And it took me to a humorous place. And I just started cracking up. I just couldn't help it. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, because I'm like, my mind's racing and she's funny to me. But now I absolutely love meditating.
I like that story, Tracy, because it shows that it's not like we could just go from the way we're living to like, oh, now I meditate and do all this stuff. There's always a transition. And I love that you said that, because oftentimes these techniques that are more like on the spiritual side, the like woo-woo side of things, for somebody that's coming out of like that conditioned chaos, it is funny. Do you know what I mean? And it is like so foreign, and it's like, okay, this is weird and so different from what I'm into right now. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is a transition, and our journey is unique, and we do it in our own divine right timing. So like you said, at that point it was funny and you were kind of like, okay, but now here you are in your life, like you enjoy meditation, you see the benefits. So it takes a while to make those transitions sometimes, and be compassionate with yourself for your own timing, because
I agree with that. And if I could be completely honest, right, it took me a couple of years to get there where I love it. And now I can, go into it and clear my head. And now I like to hear the voices of other people during meditation, because it helps me to quiet my own mind if I'm listening and paying attention to what they're saying to do, but ooh wee, it was just hilarious in the beginning. So I always tell that story because I was like, this is not gonna
You're
work
not
for me.
alone,
Yeah.
people. You're not alone. And Tracy, we talk about, the journey being individual to each person. It's so unique for
Yeah.
each of us. Just like our traumas are unique, just like our experiences are unique, just like our addictions are unique. Every part of this journey is so personal.
Yeah.
And so part of the alignment that we do is we talk about something that on the soul level has always been with you. So I put it into 4 categories. So it can be nature,
Mm-hmm.
music,
Mm-hmm.
art, like creating something,
Mm-hmm.
um, or movement. Those
Mm.
are usually from the people that I've worked with. It usually falls into those 4 categories. It
Yeah.
can be different,
Yeah.
but I've found that it usually falls into those 4 categories. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another area that when you're feeling unaligned, you're feeling the chaos and the drama from your trauma,
Mm-hmm.
you can reconnect to that. Like for me, mine is music.
Yeah.
So no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter how crappy the day has been, I
Mm-hmm.
can put on a good song, something that I love,
Yeah.
and it helps bring me back. It
Yeah.
helps me bring me back because I want to be there in the music. Like
Yeah.
for people that love nature, like they're feeling the chaos, the drama from their trauma, they
Mm-hmm.
go for a hike, it brings them back.
Yeah.
So that's
I-
important too, to
yeah.
find those key pieces that really connect to us, and
Yeah.
then do those all the time. Do
Yeah.
those all the time.
I love that you said that too. I was just talking to my son about this the other day because now he's 15, so
Mhm.
and it's challenging being 15 in high school, right? So I
Mhm.
was talking to him about having like this theme song. I'm like, you gotta pick a
I
song
love
that
that.
just makes you happy, that's gonna change your mood. That's so I played mine for him and I was like dancing around him and it changed his mood. It changed his mood in that moment. But I'm like, you need your own song. You don't have to have mine. I was just giving him mine. And
Mhm.
then we have one together that I always play for the two of us. But I love that you said that because that's what I do, and that's what I was trying to show him. Like, just get something that gets you out of your own head and allows you to just bring that
Yes.
happiness back in whenever you're feeling some emotions that you don't like. Get a theme song. So I Miss
Yes.
Aline saying yes, yeah, she's a boy mom too. So she knows all about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I love that. And for me, it's exercise and music.
Mhm. The
And
movement,
you had, yeah,
and
that
music, those
movement is
often
the
go
key.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
And the
love that.
movement is good too because it releases that energy, that stored
Yeah,
energy from the body. So
yeah.
going back to, like I'm talking about meditation, breathe work, all this stuff.
Hmm.
But you're right. Like people that are starting, they need these things, the music, the nature, the things that are easy for
Yeah,
them, that have
yeah,
always been a part of them.
yeah.
Because like I said, it's like these things are your connection on a soul level. And I
Hmm.
talk about like, I believe in like past lives, future lives, whatever, but it's like
Hmm.
it's something
Me
that's
too.
always been with you. Past
Yeah,
lives, future lives, it's always going to be there. And
yeah.
we all have that one piece. So
Hmm.
even if, the meditations are funny or the breathe work doesn't feel right to you,
Yeah,
there's something that connects you back to your soul. And we
absolutely.
all have that something. And a lot of times it's the music or the movement, the
Yeah,
creation, the nature.
yeah.
So look
I
for
love.
those and connect them and do them all the time.
Yeah, I love the 4 categories that you identified because it will resonate with anybody. One or
Yeah,
all of those, right,
right.
will resonate with anybody. So I love that you said that. And I remember that I used nature. Now, I wasn't a nature person pre-COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I started walking during COVID, and I'm like, I'm going outside, right? They can't tell me that I can't go outside and take a walk. And I'm not putting on a mask. I want to breathe fresh air. So I used
Mm-hmm.
to go out and take walks in the morning. And I appreciated nature so much more during COVID than I probably ever have unless I was like on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just the little things, I started doing what my son used to do as a kid. And I started noticing the little things. And I was telling, my friends and family, I'm like, the grass seems greener to me. Now, it may not have been, or maybe it was because we weren't moving so much, so we weren't destroying the planet as much. But I'm like, the grass seems greener. The air feels fresher. The sun is shining brighter. Like everything seemed better to me in nature during COVID. So I took those moments to just appreciate what we had around us, that we didn't need to like run to a job or run to, some other place for entertainment. But wow, look at what's here right in front of us, that God has supplied for us to enjoy.
That's like so powerful, Tracy. And it was like the earth gave us the space to slow down during that time. I really do. A lot of people talk about COVID in a certain light, but I just can't help but see all of the benefits and all of the things that came from that
Absolutely.
it really gave people the space and the opportunity to connect back to themselves, because we had to sit with ourselves there. But talking about, the grass being greener, when our mind's focused attention is where we are, everything is more alive because we're aligned with it. We're there with it. When we're just like passing by, it's just like, it's an afterthought, but if we're actually looking at it, we're there with it. We're engaged with it. Like our energies are combined, if you believe in energy work and stuff. But so the grass is greener when we're there looking at it. But I love that you brought it back to you became like your son. Like that's when we do our healing work, what we're really doing is reconnecting back to our own inner child, to our own inner girl. And so those moments, like being like a child again, being very curious about everything in your environment, in your experience, that such a beautiful part. And it shows like all the work that you've done to be able to be in that space and bring your childlike self to your present moment. It means that connection has been made back to your younger self. And so that's awesome.
I remember going on the walks, and when I was growing up, we used to have these honeysuckle bushes that lined the yard, like to kind of separate. There was like an office building next door, so it separated. But I was in love with these honeysuckle bushes, just the way they smelled. We used to take them off. So you know all about that. So when I started walking during COVID, I didn't even know. So they took the bushes down, right? I didn't even know honeysuckle bushes were still out there in New Jersey. But when I started walking during COVID, I started to see them, and I was like so excited. I took pictures of them. I just smelled them. I was so excited.
Your inner girl was like, bushes. I remember.
Yeah. And now I live in North Carolina now. I don't live in New Jersey anymore, but now I see them also here. So it just makes me happy to see, the things that take me back to the good things about, childhood. So I love it. So we're coming up on the end of the show. So I want to ask you to give, some of your last words, last thoughts to people out there who may be struggling with something, just give them, a word of encouragement, something that you want to say.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. The time went by too fast.
It did.
So one of the biggest things that I promote is to remove the fear and the resistance around the healing journey, because a lot of us we know that our life is not working right as adults, or we're unhappy, or there's not joy, there's too much chaos, we have ailments in the body, whatever. We know that life is not working, but we're too afraid to see why. And especially if we know we have trauma, there can be like a big fear around that. And I understand that, because it's scary to reconnect with the most difficult experiences that you've had in your life. Like, So I understand where the fear comes from, and that's why it's very important for me to help resolve and remove some of that fear. So the message that I always share is that, remember, you are an adult now. You have developed in mind, body, spirit. You have the emotional intelligence that it takes to process those experiences that you did not have the emotional intelligence to process at the time. So when you are consciously choosing to connect and process your traumas,
Yeah.
it's an entirely different journey. It's an entirely different journey because we are not experiencing the trauma again. We've already experienced that as children.
Yeah.
And we've survived. We've survived because here we are as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never going to be that same journey. When we choose to go to process with our conscious awareness, it's a completely different journey. And you are strong enough.
Yeah.
You are strong enough to do that. And the other piece that I like to tell people is to remember that you are your own greatest healer. Because guidance from the outside is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a coach, you're a coach, and we know how effective that can be for people to help guide them, to give them the framework that they need to reach their goal or to connect with their deeper self.
Yeah.
So guidance from the outside is key. Having proper tools of support, communities of support is key.
Yeah.
But ultimately, all of the changes and all of the healing happens internally.
Yeah.
It happens inside.
Yeah.
So our bodies are designed to heal themselves. You know, we get a cut and the healing is happening from the inside out.
Yeah.
So it's the same with our emotional healing, is it's happening from the inside out.
Yeah.
So to remember that you are your own greatest healer, and it's really about that journey back to self, because we talked about in the beginning, most of us are living out of our alignment.
Yeah.
We've been conditioned away from our own alignment.
Yeah.
So it's coming back, that journey, coming back home to self and reconnecting with your knowing, with who you are, because we are our own greatest healer. So that's what I'll leave you with. And
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I hate that we are at the end of the show. We appreciate everybody out there watching. I know Miss Lee Monique is out there watching. She will be here next week, everybody. So make sure that you tune in next week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to catch Miss Aline next week, and we are going to be talking about shining the light on domestic violence. But everybody, we absolutely love Leah Abraham. We thank you for joining us. Thank you for just sharing your love, your light, and your expertise. And you have to come back because this was amazing and too short. But we thank you, everybody. We love you, and we will see you next week.